see if this 1000 watt 40 amp can be ran by this 400 watt or the 1500 watt. Shoot power through solar charger, solar controller. See how much power I'm putting in. If it'll run it. So I gotta charge up those batteries I just got in today. Get them fully chopped off. So I can use the modules and use them individually. Do the 4-hour every other day. Run the freezer. Take blocks out. Nice block stuff. Keep the nutrients in the food. Let's see. Take a bone here first. So let's see, 10:14 will be the time. Check. 10:14. PM. I'm running that off of a solar battery. Solar charged car battery. Chipper battery. And that's, as you've seen, a 24 volt 40 amp 1000 watt. And I'm getting good absorption going in. Otherwise I've disconnected my high frequency solar up to 27 amp. So for that 400 watt is actually powering that thing, interesting enough. Giving us 24 volts. It's peaking. And then drop, peaking. But a little bit of time that we've had it on, we got 0.003 of a kilowatt already. I think I'll patch into the battery that's under here. The battery that's over by the Gucci Mobile. And power up those guys. Because I got the 4 batteries that are 1.62 kilowatts, 6 volts, parallel in series together, so there is one. I'm going to separate them and use modules with plasma. Boost the power from 6 volts to 12 volts to run things like I'm doing right now. Yeah. Ooh, burrito.
It's more like a calzone, Cuckoo. That's the evolution of the burrito.
Simplicity. Oh man. That's why Spirit had me find it like that. I was wondering, I was like, dude, I took it to the shop and with the move and before the move and everything, getting broadsided because I haven't ran plasma so long. I was like, why is that there? It shouldn't be there, but here we are. It running. I'm baffled because it's only drawn an amp.
And it's generating that much? Putting out that much?
Yeah, it's on the recording show. It's interesting.
Do you have your phone with you? Oh, you're using it to record, huh?
It's fluctuating between, when I was over there, 50 watts and 200 watts. Actually, you'd think it'd be like solid. So I was confused on how that thing was able to power. It's supposed to be 1000 watt, or I guess if something needs 1000 watts out of it, it reduces 120 volts down to that and gives it that or whatever. makes me very happy because I'll be able to get that reactor back going that I was slamming this ground down poolisite, extracting the cesium and slamming it into the silver, making platinum with it. I'm just wondering how that can run like that, but I can't run my other reactor. Suck a 35 amp hour battery dry in 5 minutes. It'll make something go wrong with the electrolyte or something. DC output 24 volt 40 amp. Amperage pull is less than an amp. It's pulling out of it. It just spiked over an amp. 1.3, 1.13. Been on for 9 minutes. That's crazy. How in the heck? So it's been on for almost 10 minutes. It's been on 9 minutes. And the kilowatt meter, it says it hasn't drawn any power from this thing yet. Enough to register on its meter. But in that 9 minutes, in that 9 minutes, we've produced 0.007 of a kilowatt.
0.007?
Yeah. I'll let that do its thing. Charge the battery and then run a freezer. Chalk beer. Amazing day. Get the backhoe moved. Get the stuff done. Ooh, moving forward. Evolution. So we're at 0.16. Has been put into the batteries. Let's see what it's pulled out of these batteries to do that. .02. Crazy. So on this thing, the refrigerator uses 0.08 of a kilowatt hour an hour. And in half an hour, we just put 2 hours worth of the deep freezers. juice back in. I think I might have found a loophole in something. Still only using less than an amp. Trying to just over an amp spike. Watt. In a half an hour, it's only used 0.002.
Because if you only ever feed people pictures of, for example, Irishness as being something which is uniquely white, then they're only ever going to think that Irish people can be white. And they won't think of like the fact that there's a lot of people of colour living in Ireland. So I felt we need to sort of question these things, and a clear and easy way to sort of throw up some of the ridiculousness of the limitedness of these data sets is to feed stuff into AI and get these ridiculous limited results, which you can hear are problematic, full of glitches and white noise and total weird mistakes, because it shows you the limits of what the system can do. And so for me, with the performers, when they were singing it, I said to them, you have to learn this as if this is another country that you visited, and this is their absolutely untouchable, authentic folk music, which is utterly respected and full of dignity. And through that, you sort of help people listen to the fact that a lot of the cultural data sets we have are limited and should be broken and remade.
The brilliant Jennifer Walsh there. My guests today are William Lee Adams and Zaina Dura. So how do you both feel about the idea that identity is created by whatever data set we consume? William?
I think it's a brilliant call. The instigators of war or the victims of war. And it's not a very nuanced approach, but I see in relatives and friends how that can influence how you think about yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it can be very insidious. At the same time, I think it's also an interesting check on your own behavior. I've been watching Emily in Paris, which is full of stereotypes.
That's a Netflix show, in case anybody wonders.
It's full of stereotypes about Americans thinking their culture is superior, not wanting to bend. And after watching that, I was like, you know, I work at the BBC. I should probably work on maybe bending my own way of thinking to the British corporation.
Well, this is my question then. What are the stereotypes that you would similarly feed into AI?
If I was going to program myself, we'd have some gay, we'd have a little bit of American, a little bit of Ho Chi Minh City thrown in. It's curious. I think the subcultural element, like being gay, is actually much more influential in some ways. There is a global tribe of gay people, and I can meet a gay person from Zimbabwe or China or Japan, and we will have things we can talk about instantly. When you're gay, you feel a sense of difference from a very young age, and you're not aware of what that is. And I think that ends up coloring so much of your thinking, your empathy, how you respond to other people when they're new to your world. So yeah, it's a complicated algorithm.
And a controversial question on some levels, I suppose. Can stereotypes ever be useful, do you think?
The optimist in me says yes. Going back to my Emily in Paris analogy, it can force you to fight against undercurrents, which may or may not be there.
Do you think they could ever be useful, Zaina?
I don't know. I think never.
Okay.
It's been such a painful situation for me.
But I thank Jennifer Walsh for even bringing up the subject for us to discuss. On this week's BBC...
What's crazy is what they say here is information that I told people back before.
But coronavirus and the dealing with this pandemic, it's the issue. And you see it worldwide. France announcing new shutdowns, Germany as well. In the rest of the world, it feels like people deal with the virus. You know, the nation has an idea of what to do. It's top down. everyone does it. The people win, they go outside. If it gets bad, the people shut down a little bit, but they're managing it. In America, it feels like it's either the argument is all lockdown or all open, and the Trump campaign is saying, well, we're the campaign of open up the country, and they say the Biden campaign, Biden-Harris want to lock things down. What is the actual plan for what you want to do when you get into power?
Well, and I appreciate the way you've asked the question. What is actually at play, right, as opposed to the rhetoric? What is actually at play is back in January, Donald Trump knew the seriousness of this, knew that it was contagious, airborne, deadly, 5 times more deadly than the flu, and he sat on that information. He covered it up and he didn't share it with the people. Trevor, can you imagine if families, if teachers, if small business owners knew on January 28th what the president knew? And had the ability, therefore, to prepare, having a plan based on embracing the fact, being honest with the American people, and then embracing science to do what we will do, which is a national strategy for testing, for vaccines when we have one, which will be free, but also dealing with accelerator, meaning it has accelerated what was messed up already.
So it's supposed to be 40 amps, 1,000 watt, 24 volt. It's interesting. I thought maybe 400 watt amperage wasn't allowing it. This is my inductor. So 1600 watt, 160 amp. Amperage. Interesting. Too much energy wasted. Go down and move the panels. Noticed the other day. I need to move them over to the left, try to get some morning sun. Get the skidder down here and pull the back of it up. Maybe the pond over there. Inshallah. Casey up the mobile. Back down here. Oh, that's the other speed cut chain. A whole lot of bucking. We just got the chainsaw mill in. So turn this, bucking it into rounds. Build with it. I gotta process all this, get it out the way, and do more. The pond gonna be right here. Something must have tripped. I'll walk across them. That's why I ain't gonna get the power out of them. Fully flex. High frequency. Put out 419 volts. You gotta use a step down. Shooting power way up there. Cover it over, cut it up. Get this small stuff cut up. These big trees. Get building. Get processed over there. Get my solar panels where they're as a cell in a room so I can string it around. Circular around this. Get in the morning and all that. Put the chainsaw guy together. Start producing boards. This stuff over here. I need wood inside the cargo container, slats, and build pallets. Evolution. Time to buck up this. Get out that tree stump. And those 3 stumps right there. Tomorrow I'll have a container. Chainsaw guy together.
Wait, because this should be aligned with that, and the bar should go through here.
Which means you gotta switch it around. Just take your time.
Good job, honey. You were the one that placed them like this.
All I did was place them. I just put the thing there. I just set them there. Good job, honey, for looking at what you gotta do.
Could you pass me that one?
Again, take your time. That you are. Alright, those stumps to do. Trees up there to buck. And the ones move over to the side so we can turn some boards to get these stumps out. Put a new blade on there. Filter. Wop wop. Get that stump. Get those guys out. Move that over the side. Tanner comes tomorrow. Got the freezer humming. That's a couple hour deep freeze back in. Halfway up. 100 watt. 122 amp. Run it for another 3 hours. And take the ice blocks out. Use it for a refrigerator. Instead of using a refrigerator, we didn't lose none of our stuff when the fire happened. We're just gonna reconfigure because that dark winter with no light for ever in a day. It's all bad. Let's do supplementing it and just squeezing it off. Those guys are getting powered with a high frequency down in the valley over there. Parallel and in series. Nice. Getting 3.7 to 4.5 amps. And this guy's supplementing. Shooting this power to the freezer. everything situated. Mapped out like I have drawn. High frequencies are starting to get light. Frequencies down in the valley. A couple of amps. I got trees on this corner cleared. Frame set up. I'm at the right angle. And go down and squeegee them off too. I just did the other side. All clean. Oh yeah, like I was saying. My reactor, the chamber that blew up, I've been waiting to construct a bigger one that I've been working on. But I haven't taken the liquid out. Fuel. See how this has this crazy hairs growing in there. Doing its thing, waiting to come out to co-create. It's like this guy. Almost the 2 hour mark. And what we made so far. Fridge is taken. What is used so far? Nice. Made more than what is being used. So just moved those stuffs over. Now you just gotta cut the stumps. It's stump cutting time and packing the trailer with the brush. Freezer's on 3 hours now running. Lost our light. The power voltage dropped down to like just under 11 volts. It's still rocking out. It's nice. At halfway up, it was doing 0.10 of an hour. As you see, it's reduced down since it's gained temperature. Stumps out the way. Cut these up. Process this over here. Tanker right there. It's incredible how wet. Cool. Getting it butt down. Ha. Last stump. Get in there. Get in there. Getting it down. Naqshbandi Terka. Pretty much got it cut all the way down, but I can't see right now. Keep them hunters being able to park on the side and poach down in the property. Getting it in. Tree stumps cut. Just gotta finish up this spot right here. Buck those guys down. Get the cropping tin right there. Bien. Yeah. Chop this up. Chop this up. Chop this up. Chop that stump. Those stumps right there. Get those guys. And run the chainsaw mill right there. Morning. Getting it, baby, getting it. south facing east. Ticking in. Out of space. Gonna start a new video. Gotta transfer this over to USB so I can do it when the carpenter comes. Beautiful day. Getting it in. Outdoor store. It's not a store. Place where you come. View. That's incredible. I'll get you here, Jeremy. Love you, brother. This is out of the way. This I bucked down. Those guys are thick enough. And the pine trees here. These guys here I'm gonna drop. But I'm gonna mill them. Turn them into boards. Start building that from tarp to wood. Cargo container go right here. I'm gonna do a 20 by 40 out metal. Come up 3-story. Clean this out. Solar cells, solar collectors, plasma transmitters, fire back, love and light.